Hey, my name is Felicia Giouzelis. I am a master healer, and I'm here to talk to you today about the abandonment core wound manifesting as responsibility. When we are talking about an abandonment core wound manifesting as responsibility, what that means is you either take a lot of responsibility, probably more than you should in your life, or for other people's emotions, right? You feel responsible for how other people feel, either when they're interacting with you, or let's say you make a choice that feels right to you, but suddenly all the people around you are really unhappy. That's a responsibility issue that's coming up. What's happening is you're taking responsibility for how other people feel. And that is not anything that you need to worry about long term, because you need to be aware of what the actual wound is, and that wound is abandonment. Now, when we have an abandonment core wound, what we're worried about is losing love. We're worried about how people will, let's say, withdraw their emotions from us, or distance themselves. That's usually how it feels, right? You start to feel disconnected from people. Like, let's say you make a choice that feels right to you, and suddenly the people around you stop interacting with you, or stop inviting you to events, or you just feel some kind of distance. What happens on the heels of something like that, what could happen if you're not careful with this wound, is that you start to take responsibility for how other people are feeling. And what you do is you kind of push down how you feel. You start to dim your own light. You start to chameleon or morph yourself into somebody that will continue to keep that connection going. But that turns into an energy drain over time, because you're pushing yourself down and you're making them a priority instead of making your own feelings and how you are interacting with them in a way that feels good to you a priority, right? So I wanted to share kind of that's a little bit convoluted, the way that works. So you might need to unravel this a little bit in your journal and kind of see how it's manifesting in your own life. The other way that this wound shows up, so when abandonment is manifesting as responsibility, is that you won't take any responsibility at all. This shows up as commitment issues, right? I call it Runaway Bride with my students, right? Or the runaway archetype. This is that energy of when you feel that things are getting a little bit too close, maybe too intimate, or there's a level of vulnerability that's going to be expected from you that you are uncomfortable with. This comes up in relationships a lot. You might go like this, hands up, feel backed against a wall, and just avoid all responsibility, right? It's like abort, you'll leave because you can sense that it's going to require more responsibility from you, and that is a wounded, unhealed part of you, and you're going to avoid it. You're just going to blatantly avoid it. And what happens is eventually this leads into some level of loneliness, because you are missing that connection. You really want a more intimate connection, something that does call you to be more vulnerable. But what's happening is your fear is overriding that. The logic part is coming in. That animal instinct is coming in and saying, hey, you're not safe if you open yourself up to that. So what you have to do is process why you're not feeling safe opening up, why you're not feeling safe taking responsibility, or even why you feel safer when you're not taking responsibility. But I can tell you, on the flip side of this, if you are someone who is not taking full responsibility, you're probably manifesting a lot of things in your life right now that are fear-based manifestations, meaning take a look around you, take a look around your life. If there are things that are not going well, not working, there's some kind of dysfunction, whether it's in relationships or with your money or with your business, you can tell it's a pain point. It's something that is uncomfortable. That's a pain point. It's something that's not working. It's something that's causing you anger or frustration or grief, sadness, you name it. It's coming up in some way and it's getting on your nerves. You want to start to pull those down, right? From your mind, from your body, from your emotions, wherever they are, kind of consolidate them in your journal and figure out what's going on here and where am I possibly not taking full responsibility, either for acknowledging this or fixing this in some way, or having that difficult conversation, or seeing how I feel about it. That's how you start to unravel this part of the abandonment core wound when it is coming up as responsibility. But the first step is really becoming aware where you are avoiding responsibility and where you're taking too much responsibility, because there's two sides of the same coin. You could be doing both in different areas of your life. So that's really a first step, is taking stock of what's happening in your life and going, okay, is this working for me, or does this feel like it's draining my energy? If it is draining my energy, is it because I'm giving too much? We have that people-pleasing vibe, right? Is it because I'm giving too much, or is it because I'm allowing them to take, right? Am I taking on too much responsibility? Am I not taking on any? And a lot of this will show up in, if you're not taking any responsibility, for example, what that means is people around you are taking responsibility, and that will leave you feeling controlled. So if there are areas of your life where you're not taking responsibility, look at those places where you feel like other people are A, manipulating you, and B, controlling you. There's probably some element of that where you haven't taken full responsibility. Somebody's got to take it. So you might have somebody in your life that's kind of telling you what to do, or putting pressure on you to act a certain way, or be a certain type of person, or go to college when you don't want to go to college, for example, be a lawyer when you don't want to be a lawyer. There's something there that needs to be uncovered. And only by you taking responsibility, taking that energy back and going, nope, I'm good, everybody. I'm going to deal with this on my own. Thank you very much. That is the only way you start to get out of this aspect of the wound. So I hope that helps. If you like today's video, hit that like button, let me know. And I'm going to be releasing a lot more of these because abandonment shows up in many different ways, and it's a convoluted core wound. So if you want to learn more, hit subscribe and click that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one.